Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Batman: The Dark Knight, issue number 3. Take a look at this column cover right here. Now, where we last left off on issue number 2, Batman was able to successfully defend himself against a jacked-up, steroid-induced Two-Face. However, successful is kind of a shaky word. The only reason why Batman was able to survive is because Two-Face's steroid-induced powers were starting to go to his head. Quite literally. See, by taking this potent steroid, or even venom for lack of a better term, even though it's not venom, eventually the blood will rush to a person's head and they will fall unconscious. Batman later finds out that a lot of the people in his rogue gallery is taking this. A lot of people. Even some of the more obscure characters. And it goes so far that even the Joker is taking it. And underneath everything that's going down, there's one little person that happens to be behind it all. A White Rabbit. Yeah, I'm just going to call her White Rabbit because they really haven't given her a name at all. The issue starts off with Batman taking on Joker, who is steroid-induced. Not to give anything away, but there is a certain something that goes on with Joker that kind of gives Batman the edge in defeating him. After Batman fights Joker, he is then taken on by the White Rabbit because he is so badly hurt from his fight that the White Rabbit kind of has the advantage. However, a superhero friend shows up to help out the Batman. Who's that superhero friend? The Flash. Yes, Barry Allen, the Flash, shows up and helps Batman out. Has the White Rabbit run away, and the two of them start working on a case together. Trying to figure out exactly who's supplying this steroid, and then exactly where's the source of it. Batman eventually comes to the conclusion that there are some clues that point into the direction of Poison Ivy. But Poison Ivy is kind of reformed. They say she's reformed. I don't think she's reformed. And she's working with the Birds of Prey. So what exactly is going down here? Is Poison Ivy to blame, or is someone just pointing the fingers in her direction to mislead Batman and the Flash? And will the team of Batman and the Flash be able to be enough to solve this mystery and to stop what's going on in Gotham? Just gonna have to read and see. So let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, the story's kind of getting more interesting. Issue number 1, there was no real story. Issue number 2, we got a little bit more, but not too much. Issue number 3, the stories are actually starting to get a little bit more interesting. I like the random cameos that show up in here. Like the Flash. What's the Flash doing there? It's just so random, but it's kind of cool and it's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Bruce Wayne is handled pretty well here, and so is Batman handled pretty well. I'm not going to say this is the be-all, end-all of how Batman should be portrayed at all, but it's in no way, shape, or form bad. There's a few moments that I particularly like Batman chasing down a crooked detective. The detective takes out a gun and starts shooting it, and when he opens his eyes, Batman's right behind him. And we get a little bit more of an aggressive Batman here, too, which is good. You just can't make him too aggressive because then you're going to Frank Miller land, and that's not a place you want to go. And the art is good. There are a few times when the art kind of does bug me, like when people are like, I can't do it, when their mouths are really tightly pressed together, or how their chest is really elongated, but besides that, the art is pretty good. And even though I think this is a silly-ass character, the White Rabbit seems a little bit interesting, too. At first, I thought she was just a girl a little over her head. I mean, she's dealing with the Batman. However, I feel as though there's more to this character than they may be seen. And I like the fact that we're at least using some new characters and not always rehashing some old characters. Bad. Well, the random cameos are random. Why is the Flash there? And they don't last for that long. He shows up, he leaves, he shows up, he leaves. And it's kind of the case with a lot of the cameos that show up in this series so far. For example, in issue number 2, we get to see everyone from the Bat family. For one panel each. That's it. It's nice to have cameos, but they need to last more than 2 seconds. That, and although we get more of a story here, the progression is ridiculously fast, and it feels as though it just kind of gets cut off at the end before it should. It's like the Flash and Batman are gonna go hunt down Poison Ivy, something happens, and then it just ends. It's not necessarily horribly bad, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like Teen Titans issue number 1, where it feels as though it isn't the ending. They just kind of stopped and then wrote an ending in. If that makes any sense at all. Whether or not you should get it. Well, issue number 1 of The Dark Knight for Batman was probably my least favorite issue of the relaunch. This series is progressively getting more entertaining. I'm using the word entertaining, maybe not better, but entertaining. And I found out what you have to do to enjoy this series. You have to have low expectations. If you can just go into the series and enjoy for what it is, it's not that bad. It can actually be pretty enjoyable. However, when it comes down to it, whether or not you should pick it up, unless you're a hardcore Batman fan like I am, I'd probably avoid it. Really, Batman is where you should go if you want to pick up one of the 4 Bruce Wayne Batman titles. Dark Knight is definitely the weakest of them. It's getting a little bit better, which is nice, but it's still nowhere near Batman. It's not even touching Detective or Batman and Robin, which are both decent series. I'm going to hold this at a 2.5 out of 5 stars for a rating. Hopefully it'll get better, but that we'll just have to wait and see. Plain, flat, and simple. We're just going to have to wait and see. So, Batman the Dark Knight. Pick it up only if you're the most hardcore Batman fan, and then go into it with low expectations. Other than that, don't pick it up. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.